Hello, this is just a quick video on simplifying expressions. This time we're going to be looking at expressions that involve positive and negative numbers, and sometimes the answers are going to be negative, so we're kind of dealing with a different dimension of these problems that we did than we did earlier in the year. So let's just kind of review some things and see how to do this right here. Here we have 8m plus 12 minus 6 minus 2m. So if you remember that like terms can be combined, we don't have any parentheses or brackets that are used as grouping symbols, so we don't have to worry about those, but we do have some like terms. So we're going to look at our terms right here, and so some of you may want to remember that to figure out where the terms are, we can, wherever we see addition and subtraction right here, we can just kind of like block those off. Not necessarily subtraction, but just remember that subtraction symbol is part of the 6. It's really a -6 right here. And so I don't want to like just get rid of that subtraction symbol. Same thing with the addition symbol. The addition symbol is really part of that 12, telling us that is a positive 12. And I want to do a couple things right here. I'm going to get rid of those. Just wanted to recall how to identify how many terms there are. So we have 4 terms right here. 2 of them have m's as our variable, so those are like terms, and 2 of them do not, so those are also like terms. So let's combine like terms. Now we can rearrange this so that all the like terms are together. So the 8m is going to be combined with this right here. I'm going to circle it, minus 2m. Notice that the minus sign goes with the 2m. Okay, so keep those together. In this case, the minus sign here goes with the 6. The plus sign here stays with the 12, and then this is a positive number, so, and that's the beginning, so we just keep it a positive 8. And we can write this, it's invisible, we don't have to see it, but that is a plus 8m. So each term has a sign at the beginning of it, but this one is kind of invisible, we don't necessarily need to see it, but it is a plus or a positive 8m. All right, so let's write these so that they are in order. So there we have the terms rearranged using the commutative property. And here we'll see 8m plus 2m. There we get our 6m. And we have a positive 12 minus 6. And that's pretty simple right there. That'll be a positive 6. So we end up with 6m plus 6 as our answer. Now you might have been thinking, I thought the commutative property only works for addition. So how could that subtraction problem, how can you move this around when it's a subtraction problem? So I want us to look at this a different way. Okay, let's do this a little bit differently. Change our subtraction symbols into addition. Let's rewrite this so that there's no subtraction. It's all addition. So we had 8m plus 12. That's already addition. We don't have to worry about that. Minus a positive 6. So we can change this to plus a -6. And then here's minus positive 2m, so we're going to change this to plus -2m. So do you see how that minus sign really is here now as a negative symbol? So it didn't really move or change, it just kind of like is being placed with these numbers. So now we can move these around and it would look like this, where it's 8m plus -2m, which is 6m, and then 12 plus -6, just as we moved those around. And we still get the same answer this way. So if it helps you, you can begin just by looking at all subtraction and then just change it to adding the opposite. Add the opposite no matter what it is. And then you can move them around, or you can kind of see, oh, okay, I have a -2m here, and I have a positive 8m here. Let's combine those, and then we can combine positive 12 and our -6 to get our answer there. Let's look at another problem here. This one has more. So let's take a look at this. Let's work this out together. I see 2 types of terms here. I see ones that have a C in it right here. There's a C, that's C and C. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms that have the variable C, and then there's a term here, 20, and then a term here that do not have a variable. So we're going to be putting those terms together. Now there's a lot of subtraction in here. In fact, there's subtracting negative numbers in here too. So you can do one of two things. We can change these all into addition, and then we can start to see what those numbers are. So let's just do that. So here we have negative 8c, that stays, plus 20, and that we're going to change this to plus negative 4c. This is going to be plus positive 5. Here is adding a negative c here, so we're changing two things. We always change two things when we do this. And now everything is addition, and we can write all of these together. Now you don't have to necessarily write all these together. In fact, you might just want to maybe circle them if they're on paper. I would always write them on paper to keep track of them. Circle them, include that symbol with it. This is negative 1c right here, and this is a positive 5c. So here we have negative 8c, a negative 4c. We're adding everything together, adding negative 4c, adding a negative c, adding a positive 5c. So we have three numbers here that are negative, three coefficients here. Negative 8, negative 4, negative 1. So let's put all those together. We get negative 13c. These are all the negative coefficients. And we still are adding a positive 5c over here. So that part right here is going to become a negative 8c. And then we're left with 20 plus 5. So we end up just over here. I'm going to put it here. It belongs here in this line. It belongs in all the lines. Plus 25. So I just combined my negative coefficients, negative 8, negative 4, negative 1, to get negative 13. I just did that first, and then I combined the positive coefficient, the 5 right here. Negative 13 plus 5 is negative 8. So that gives us a negative 8c as our term. Okay, I want you to try one also here. So try this one right here. It's got a whole bunch of things. Pause the video right here. Give this a shot, and then come back to the video for our answer. All right, so what I'm going to do is change all of our addition here, or subtraction rather, to addition problems. And we have some of these double negatives, subtracting a negative 10. I like to just get rid of those right off the bat. All right, now everything is addition, and I'm going to circle our terms. Negative 7m. Where's other m's? Here it is. We're adding negative 8m, and we're adding a positive 3m. So I like to just go ahead and get our all of the same things, like all the negatives together, all the positives together, and then at the end put them together. So here's negative 7, negative 8, so that's going to be negative 15. And then put it together with the positive 3, so we have to subtract those. All right, now let's take a look at our other terms here. We have a positive 14 plus positive 10 plus 2. So we put all of those together here. So that is a simplified expression. This expression has 6 terms. This only has 2. Much, much, much simpler. All right, so that is your review. I think if you feel confident with this, you're ready for your practice.